Fellow Freedom fans, David Alan Carmichael with the Faith and Freedom Show here on Frank Talk 104.3 FM for the Liberty Works Radio Network. So good to be back on this Saturday. I've got a co-host today, Stan Treleaven. You'll be hearing more about him and from him momentarily. The phone number here is 888-850-1872. I've invited Stan because I think he ought to be carrying many, many hours on the radio. So he's going to be here with me today. Could you tell me and my audience, what is the American Foundation that and your group? What do they do? What's the focus? What's the purpose?
The purpose of the group is, in fact, our mission is to understand and clarify the issues that divide America and issue to the public and to our politicians and our pastors not only an understanding, but a means of reacting to it. And the issues that divide America, as I tell my pastor and others, are not political at all. There's nothing political in what is happening in America today except what's being made political by the ones who want it to be that way.
But on all these issues, you say they're moral. And so you say it's important to you to explain that to politicians, that they would actually understand that they have to look at these things and deal with them on a moral basis. Most people, and I think you would agree with me, the vast majority of the public probably believes that a spiritual dimension or a biblical moral view ought to be excluded from public policy. What do you think? Do you think that's true, that people think that way generally?
If you want a cataclysmic finality to the United States, well, you just follow that lead. Well, let's look through the issues here. Abortion for any reason, embryonic stem cell research, income redistribution, divorce for any reason, hate crimes, profligate government debt, immoral and criminal government representatives, illegal immigration, homosexual rights. Now, there's about 20 or 30 others on issues on. Every one of them are moral. And again, what the politicians do? They tell the pastors and they tell the Christians, no, you shouldn't be involved in this because this is political. And according to your 501c3 structure set up in the churches, then you shouldn't be involved in that. Okay.
I do want to make mention of that. The point that you made with a two-parent working two parents, and now there's not that many households that have two parents, but even the two-parent, how many parents are actually out of the house working all the time? It was around 4% back in 1950, up to 70% or more than that now.
Yes.
As I remember seeing or reading Karl Marx's description of what the family structure ought to be in this mass proletariat society, everybody becomes the worker. And it's an undermining of the American family is something that was articulated by Marx as his vision of what utopia ought to be. Now, we're going to take a break, folks. We're trying to approach these things for your education, for your encouragement, to equip you, to get you a perspective that's right. And I say, folks, if you abandon, ultimately, folks, I got to get right down to the truth. Jesus is the truth, okay? We abandon reading the Bible. We abandon submitting to the guidance of Jesus Christ. And you know what we're going to get? We're going to get catastrophe. And, of course, we're going to remind you of that here on the Faith and Freedom Show. Are you willing to tackle these issues on that basis? You really go to task with us on that. Give us a call at 888-850-1872 after the break.